Hey guys, what's going on? This is Kintobu, and I'm gonna be showing you my Ocean 4 deck. I call it that because I've had two Ocean decks in the past. Created one yesterday, and this is number 4. I think that number 2 was the best, but I don't remember the build exactly. It was on my old computer and I lost it. So this is kind of the updated version of that. Might not be quite as effective, but I think it'll be fun, and I think it'll be a nice surprise for some people who aren't prepared to be playing against this kind of deck. So we start off, obviously it's a Legendary Ocean deck. Lowers level of all water monsters in players' hands and field by 1, and gives them 200 attack and defense. It's very useful. Obviously I'm going to be taking advantage of that, and I'll let you see how. I've got my terraforming. I ran 3 Legendary Oceans. I don't like to run out of them. I feel it's helpful to have 3, and that one terraforming just gives me that extra little chance to get them. I don't run 2 or 3. I think that's kind of redundant, and I've got other cards that can help bring the ocean out. I got 2 field barriers. Like I said, I've a couple times used these to my advantage. People like to MST them, and it would kind of frees up room for some of my other traps and keeps my ocean safe. It was a pretty big, important card to the deck. Speaking of MSTs, I got 2 of them. I run 2. I used to run 3, but it's once again it's another one of those things that's redundant. A lot less people play back row now. It's a little bit more common I've seen since Heavy Storm got hit, but I feel comfortable only running 2 with my field barrier and such. I'm running 2 salvages, 2 water monsters with 1500 or less attack in my graveyard back to my hand. It's not going to be useful immediately. I'm hoping most of my monsters aren't going to be dying. If I XZ for something, it can be pretty useful for getting some monsters back and recycling. And obviously, if it's a longer, drawn-out game, that'll come into a big effect. I'm running 2 Starlight Roads and a Stardust Jammer, or Shimmer Stardust Jammer. I wish they made that. I'm about tired of Stardust Dragon. Stardust Shimmer, if Stardust Dragon, or it's more than that, but that's all I'll be using it for. If Stardust is in the graveyard, I can remove monsters whose levels equal him, and I'm running lows, 3s, and 4s, so I should be able to get him back. And like I said, 2 Starlight Roads, so that's a chance for 3 Stardusts in one game, assuming they don't get banished or something. I'm going to be running 2 Dark Bribes, pretty standard, negate, spell, or trap, and they draw a card. I prefer them over the 7 tools. The 7 tools, you got to pay life points, and I'm kind of picky about my life points if I can be. I run 2 Magic Cylinders. I actually do that in almost every deck. I just like that option of that extra layer of protection, and a lot of people just get their big beater out and will attack with no backup plan, and you'd be surprised the people I've taken out with their own monsters, especially some of the Gishki decks that didn't take out back row first. Their 3400 beater killed them because they weren't careful. I'm running an Aegis of the Ocean Dragonlord. This is a new card for me. Until it's a trap card, and until the end phase, face up level 3 or lower water monsters I control cannot be destroyed by battle or card effects. It'll be pretty useful for stalling or even just protecting a card that I really don't want to die, and they've only got a 1-turn advantage over. 2 Forgotten Temples of the Deep. It acts as Yuumi, so that's extra ammunition for some of my cards that need to destroy Yuumi to work. Pretty effective, and I can target 1 face up, level 4 or lower fish, sea serpent, or aqua, aka almost my entire deck, and banish it. And then during my end phase, it gets special summoned back. Now I can use that on my opponent's turn, but it doesn't come back on their end phase. It's still my end phase. So I could technically use that before I Dark Hold and have my monster come back, which it's got a lot of useful things. You just got to use it right. Obviously, I got Levio Dragon to Dallas. He's one of my favorite cards of all time. Basically, if you have Yuumi on the field, you get to nuke with him. And since he's 7 stars with a Legendary Ocean, he'll be a 2800 attack, 6-star monster, so I've only got to tribute 1 monster to bring that bad boy out. I'm only running 1 because I think with this deck, the way it's set up, I won't need him. He's just kind of like an ace card. If I need him, he'll be there. And 42 cards, I'm not too worried about getting them out. I've got a couple other really nice beaters, and that's something that's getting a lot harder for people to counter against, I feel like, some of the newer decks. Like, especially these Stardust decks that revolve around that, you can get a big beater out and just kill it, and they can't do anything about it because it's not an effect. I'm running two Giga Gaga Gigos. I followed the Gigo cards kind of growing up, seen them, and thought this card was alright. It's pretty decent with 2400 attack, or 2450 I mean, but with a Legendary Ocean, since it's a water type, it could drop down to 4 stars. So that's an automatic 2650 beater. That kills a Stardust right there. I mean, just eats it and breaks its neck or something. I got 2 of those. It's going to be really hard for some of the people to attack over. Might have some problems with some mermails, but I think I can handle. Also got a Kodaris. It's like a mini Daedalus. It just lets me trash a Yuumi, and I get to target 2 cards my opponent controls. And you don't destroy them and send them to the graveyard. You just send them to the graveyard. So anything it gets around effects or traps or spells that activate when a card is destroyed, or multiple cards are destroyed. And that's a nice little out. 2 Terra King Salmons used to be one of the heart and souls of my old Ocean deck, Ocean 2. It's another really good 2600 beater with Ocean out, and I can just drop it in. It's nice, simple. It's no special effect, but it looks badass, and you know it can kill some stuff. This is a new card for me, Legendary Fisherman. When Yuumi's on the field, it's unaffected by spells and cannot be targeted for attacks. Now, the opponent, if he's the only monster, the opponent can attack me directly, but I find it very unlikely that he's going to be the only monster. Now that I say that, that's going to happen multiple times, and you guys are going to laugh at my misfortune, but we're going to see how it goes. 3 Warrior of Atlantis. It's a nice 2100 attack with the Legendary Ocean, and if I draw one of those and don't draw my Terraformings or my Ocean, I can send them to the graveyard and add an Ocean to my hand. So that's just yet another way I can get the Ocean out, or Yuumi out. Now, Nightmare Penguins. This is another attack boost card. When it's face up, you get that bonus, but it's got a really nice defense. So, you know, if you put it in, set it, and they attack it, they might not be able, there's a good chance they're not going to be able to get over it, and they're just going to further boost your beaters and your attack monsters. Excuse me. I've got 2 armed Sea Hunters. This is really good. You can, as long as you got another water monster face up on your field, you can negate the effects of any monster that battles this card. Now, that means he can die, but it's still a nice effect negation. And also, you can, if it would be destroyed, you can destroy a face-up level 3 or lower water monster instead of him. That can give you lots of fun just negating effects of cards, and it's a nice out against some of the more powerful effects. I run 3 Spined Gilman. It's not that impressive on its own, but 400 attack, bonus to all fish, sea serpent, and aqua types. You know, almost all of my deck except for the Legendary Fisherman. So that works in Giga Gaga Gigo. So my best beaters don't get it, but it raises some of my other cards to almost their level. So you got to think that dude right there gets plus 600 if a Legendary Ocean is out, and that's 1900 right there, not counting the boosts that he gives to other cards. It's pretty respectable. This is a newer card. It's Newman Eret Testudo. It's neither player can special summon monsters with 1800 or less attack. That gets rid of some of the XZs and some of the synchros that can pop up. If they're the lower attack ones, that'll mess up that screws some decks, entire side decks or extra decks over, I mean. And it doesn't really affect me because I'm not going to be special summoning monsters. I'm going to be dropping them in with my Ocean. So that's a nice little card to have, and really helps the Ocean decks out a lot. Mermail, not so much. And finally, I'm running 2 Atlantean attack squads. It gains 800 attack while I control a face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua type monster, other than him, obviously. That'll put him at 2200 without the ocean, 2400 with ocean, and any other cards that I have out like Gilman or Nightmare Penguin. This is literally going to be a nightmare for people to have to deal with these attack levels. So, and for my extras, I'm running 2 Stardusts. You know, pretty standard to run at least one. Very helpful card and can really give opponents headaches just trying to get rid of it. Excuse me. I'm doing 2 Bahamut Sharks. It's pretty good. If I had XZs earlier that I want to try to bring back, I have to sacrifice my beaters to bring him out due to the Legendary Ocean. But he's so powerful that sometimes it can be really worth it, and that's one of my most powerful attack-wise cards. And I can also summon an XZ back from my deck, which would be useful. I'm running 2 Abyss Dwellers. While he has an XZ material attached, it was originally water. All water monsters gain 500 attack. Just yet another kind of dick move, if you will. I mean, you're talking getting some of these cards out. The attack of my monsters is just going to be obscene. And he's not too powerful on his own, but with his effect, it's pretty nasty. And when I detach the card, any card effects that activate in my opponent's graveyard cannot be activated. That's pretty useful. For my 3-star XZs, got Nightmare Shark. When it's special summon, you can attach level 3 water monster from a hand or side of the field as an XZ material. So it's just extra materials on them, and you can attach 1 XZ and then target a water monster you control, and it can attack your opponent directly. So it's pretty useful. And when that dies, if I get a Bahamut Shark out, I can bring him back. And when I bring him back, I can equip a material from my hand. So the fun just keeps on going and going. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon, just a nasty attack. And so many 4-star monsters I'm running. His great potential to come out and wreak some havoc. Shark Caesar, so probably not going to come out. But if I do, he can be a really, really nice finisher with the shark counters. You detach an XZ, place a shark counter on him. You can do it once per turn. And if he attacks or is attacked, it gains 1,000 attack for each shark counter during the damage step. So he can become absolutely frightening. I've got some level 3s, so I had to account for those. I've got 2 Gachis. I've actually got 2 Leviathan Dragons too, my bad. 2 Gachis, just another boost to attack and defense. He doesn't get boosted, so he's mostly easy to get over. But that's as easy as he is to get over, considering he can save himself. The attack bonus is nice if I have the opportunity. But I'd probably stick with the Gilman. That's my level 3. If I got the Atlantean attack squads out, I'd use them on them. And finally, if I really, really need a stall or someone's just shutting me down, I've got my wind-up Zenmain. Had a friend who really loved that card, and we used it so much in the tag duels that it's just really just become a staple of my deck. It's very, very useful. So I hope you like my deck, and pretty soon you will be seeing me battle with it. Thanks for checking it out, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you for watching, and thank you for any fans or subscribers. Appreciate it. Bye.